Hey you guys, it's your girl, the Real True Divine Feminine, and I come with a quick little message for you guys. And my message to you guys comes from Hebrews chapter 3, verse 12. And it says, "Take care, brothers, lest there be any of you who an evil, unbelieving heart leading you to fall away from the living God." 13 says, "But exalt one another every day, as long as it is called today, that no one of you may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin." I'm telling you guys on today, I come to you with this message on today about having a hardened heart towards people who have done you wrong, towards people who have tried to commit sin against you, towards people who have tried to put you in sin. There's no need for you to have a hardened heart towards those people, but to open up and love those people, whether you're loving them up close or loving them from a distance, that you're still loving them, still having unwavering faith that God will bless them, still trusting and believing that God is going to take them from where they are, that He would rescue them out of their sin. Because the enemy, if he can get your heart to be hardened today, you're rebelling against God with a hardened heart. So if he can get you to, even though they did all this stuff to you, wish them down bad, your heart is hardened. So I'm calling you on today to unharden your heart. Allow God to fight your battles. Allow God to come inside of you. Let Him dwell inside of you and get you together. Okay? Because if I have a hardened heart, I'm missing my blessings for me. But despite of what you may have done to me, I should not have a hardened heart towards you. Because I don't get my source from you. I get my source from God. God restores everything inside of me. So I'm not going to have a hardened heart and miss my blessings because of what you done to me. You did what you did to me. You have to take accountability for what you did to me. And I'm going to take accountability by forgiving you. Because God commands us to forgive. So I forgive you for everything that you did. I just choose not to fool with you. That doesn't mean my heart is hardened. That means I know who I am. I know my worth. I set up boundaries. And it's okay with setting up boundaries with people. Everybody should have boundaries inside of their life. Whether it's with family, friends, ex-lovers, church members, co-workers, everybody, your children. You should have boundaries up with. When you have these boundaries up with people, you shouldn't let your heart get hardened. Because if you allow that to get hard, it doesn't mean that that thing has control over you. And nothing should have control over you when God has given you free will. God says you are not to be controlled. So if you have any malice, a hardened heart, jealousy, and all that in your heart today, I pray for you. I pray that you release all that so that you can get the blessings that God intended for you. Do not allow your dislike for someone else to harden your heart. Do not allow your jealousy for someone else to dishearten your heart. Do not allow what someone has done to you to harden your heart. Pray, move on, and just let it go. Allow God to work out those problems, those kinks, those ninks, those heartbreaks, whatever it is that you're faced with on today. Allow Him to work it out so that your heart does not be hardened, so that you don't miss out what He has for you. You see, because what the enemy will do, he will send somebody in knowing that you have a disagreement, knowing that you and this person had a disagreement, knowing this person didn't double cross you, knowing this person done all this to you, to try to make you be upset, angry, and have a hardened heart. But that's not what we're doing. We're not having a hardened heart. We're not doing it that. We're trusting and believing in what God and what God say He do. God say your enemies shall fall at your wayside. So that's what you're going to trust him to do. You're not going to fight back. You're not going to get crazy. You're not going to do any of that. But what you're going to do is stand on God's business. We stand on kingdom business. Stand on God's business. Stand on his word. Stand on business about the situation and not allow your heart to be hardened. Because the enemy will test you. He will literally test you to see if he can harden your heart. He will literally test you to see if those words that you have inside of your heart will stick with you, or will you forget about what you have studied, what you have learned, what is inside of you. Because what's inside of you will come out of you. So if a hardened heart is inside of you, a hardened heart is going to come outside of you. And the devil, he will send people in to test you to see if your heart go there. It says they always go astray in their hearts. You heard? In their hearts. Verse 9 says, is that verse 9? Yeah. Verse 9 and verse 10 says, therefore I will provoke you that the generation said they always go astray in their hearts. In their hearts, they always go astray. So the Bible says in Psalms 119 and I think it's 11, maybe 119 and 11, it says, thy word that I've hidden in my heart, I might not sin against thee. But right here in Hebrews, it's saying, thy hearts always go astray. It's the heart. That's why, if you notice, when you're dealing with anybody, the first thing the devil try to do is attack your heart, because he knows what's inside of you. He try to harden your heart, because if he can harden that heart, he can make you miss them blessings. If he can harden your heart, he can stop you from growing. He can stop you from prospering. He can stop your blessings from flowing. He can put so much of stop to you only if he can harden that heart. And that's what he tries to do. The enemy tries his hardest to harden your heart. Something happens to one of your kids. Oh, you shouldn't have no compassion for that person. You shouldn't have this. You shouldn't have that. Somebody betrays you. Somebody hurts you. Guess what? You shouldn't have no compassion for them. You shouldn't love them. Hate them. Hate them. They did this to you. They did that to you. Somebody stole from you. They raped you. They manipulated you. They did all this stuff they want you to do. Harden this and harden that, harden that. No. No, 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 no. Do not harden your heart. Do not harden your heart to things that other people did to you. Now, I can see you being hard on yourself when you allow yourself to get done stuff too. But when other people do stuff to you and you have no control over it, you should never harden your heart. But the enemy would trick you into believing that that's what you should do, that you should harden your heart, and you shouldn't. You should always give praise, honor, and glory at every given time in every situation. And when you pass the lessons, do know that is a blessing coming. So with the hardened heart, he's trying to make you miss your blessings. You might have somebody trying to come back to you right now, knowing that you don't fool with. It could be somebody from your past did you something. They might be trying to come back, knowing damn well you don't want to have nothing to do with them. But the enemy tricking them to try to spin the bin on you, to allow yourself to see if you're going to harden your heart. It's only a test, y'all. These are tests. And if you pay attention to the signs and synchronicities, these tests come every so often. Every so often, right before your blessing come, here come a lesson. So if you pay attention, that's why I tell you guys to journal, write things down. Because if you pay attention, right before God is getting ready to bless you in a major way, in a big way, maybe you're about to move, maybe you're about to get a new car, maybe you're about to buy a home, maybe you're about to get married, maybe you're about to welcome a child, whatever it is that is going on in your life, before that blessing comes, here comes a lesson. So guess what? Whenever this test, this lesson come back around, because they sending somebody, they're going to send somebody to see how if you're going to harden your heart. Before that, once you pass that, watch how big your blessing is. Don't let the enemy trick you that your blessing is with that person, because your blessing is not with that person. Your person, that person does not hold your blessings whatsoever. God holds your blessings. God knows your heart. He looks at your heart. And just as well as God knows your heart, just as well as God knows what you're praying for, the enemy knows too. So the enemy will send that lesson in before that blessing comes. Don't go to sleep. Stay woke, people. Don't let the enemy trick you out of, because he's sending somebody around that used to. They might used to. You probably don't even feel the same way. They might used to hold weight in your life. You might used to care about how they feel. You might used to care about them. Don't allow that. Don't allow that lesson to make you miss your blessing. Speak your truth, stand in your truth at all given times, because it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't at the end of the day. And with this thing called life, this journey called life, you got to learn how to go with the flow. Because if you don't go with the flow, you're going to be lost. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be betrayed. And guess what? The main thing is you have to seek God. Seek God and seek what he has for you. Because let me tell you something. Our human flesh, if we submitting to the flesh, man, we're going to fall into temptation easily. Flesh will have you going back to someone who done all kind of stuff to you behind the scenes that God don't want nobody, that God don't want you to have no parts of. But your flesh is weak. It will have you. That's why you're supposed to feed your spirit man daily. Feed your spirit man more than you feed your flesh man. So when these earthly things come around, you won't fall for temptation. You won't be tempted. Your spirit will recognize their spirit. And if your spirit don't recognize their spirit, it's because it's not from the spirit, baby. So stay woke. I don't know who that message is for, but it's your girl, the real true divine feminine. I pray this message reach who it has to reach and help who it has to help. Be blessed. Peace.